Hello, fuckos, and welcome to episode 23 of the Chris Hunter Comedy Podcast with me, Chris Hunter. Hello, how the devil are you? Have you had a nice week? I hope so. Blah, blah, blah. So how you doing, guys? You good? We had a nice little 3-day weekend in England this week. It was nice. It was lovely. I wish every weekend was 3 days, to be honest. We had a sort of like a town hall, no, like a town craft fair, food fair type thing near mine, which is cool. So we walked there, spent a bit of calories so that when we got there we could buy some food and eat it. There was a place that we go to sometimes, this Thai restaurant that we go to, and it's pretty nice. It's very nice actually. And she was outside doing the food, and she sold what she was calling a chicken curry in a hurry. And I'll tell you what, one thing I've never done before, I've never stood in the sunshine outside eating a Thai curry and rice. But you know what, there's a first time for everything, and it's bloody gorgeous. So we had that and some, what's it called? The chicken on a stick where you dip it in peanut sauce. Satay. That was it, chicken satay. We had some of that as well. And then we got an ice cream. And it was like one of those that just absolutely smothered in sherbet. As you can tell, this was a Saturday because it was cheat day. And yeah, it was good. It was a good time. Good time was had by all. It's not often, right? We get a nice sunny day and you can actually enjoy it like a kid again. Just go and get an ice cream, go for a walk, look at some dogs. It was a good day, and I want more of them. I'd like next weekend to be nice as well, and then we could have rain back, because I do miss a bit of rain. I like it. Speaking of rain, I got rained on last night in the cinema because I went to watch Solo in 4DX. I loved it. I was so happy with that film. I really like the Star Wars spin-offs that they're doing. Like Solo and Rogue One. They're really good, solid standalone films, and yeah, I can see some people saying they're better than the actual story films. I can kind of see where they're coming from, because as a film, they seem slightly better made. But obviously, they don't carry the whole story across, per se. I mean, Rogue One's completely spin-off, but Solo is kind of like a gap filler, I suppose. But I enjoyed it, and there was parts in the film where, like, there's some mud. Don't worry, no spoilers. There's some mud flinging around. And as the mud's getting flung, there's, like, water falling on your head from the ceiling. And I forgot it does that, so I was, like, jumping out my skin every time it happened. But, yeah, it's a weird experience getting rained on indoors, especially when it's like sort of late at night on a Sunday night and you're already kind of almost fully asleep. Not a Sunday night, on Monday night because it's bank holiday, but you're almost asleep because it's like, it's been a long weekend. It's been sunny, it's been hot, it gets you tired. But then you go to watch that and you're getting shook around in your seat and you're getting rained on and spat in the face. It was great. I loved it. And then, yeah, so with it being nice all weekend, we've been on some nice walks. I played Pokemon Go again for the first time in I don't know how long. That was nice. I haven't played it properly for ages, and now they've got this new feature, right? If you play Pokemon Go, the way you're supposed to collect Pokemon, that's your thing, that's your jam. But now they've got this thing where you can have like daily challenges that you do, and they are pretty cool. It sort of keeps you playing a bit more because you're like, oh, I just need to get 2 new Pokestops today. Let's go exploring. And so it's good for you, get you a bit of exercise. It might get you a couple of new Pokemons. And yeah, I had a nice time just walking around. I was lucky I didn't get sunburnt or any of that shit, because there's nothing worse to me than being exposed to the sun. Like, I don't like that feeling whatsoever. I wore a hoodie most of the time, even though it was really warm, so that my arms were covered, because I'm an old man. I don't like the sun, mate. It's horrible. I don't like the sun. But yeah, we did go outside at some point this weekend, but a lot of the weekend was spent inside. I was working on my chair that I'm making some good progress on it. I'm almost done with it. I'm very close. I know it's taken me forever, but I did have to basically restart it a couple of times because I tried out some new methods that didn't work out. And you know what? That's how you learn. You learn by your mistakes, you move on, you try again with a different method, and it works eventually. So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been upstairs working. I've also played a bit of Detroit Becoming Human, and Charlie's been playing it. Charlie finished it, and oh god, it's a good game. It looks fantastic. Like, it's a proper bar setter for the PS4. What it can do, I think so far, it's definitely one of the best, if not the best looking PS4 game that's out there at the moment, and I highly recommend it to everybody who plays the PlayStation. Charlie finished it, as I say. She loved it, and it's good because it kept her busy whilst I was working, so I didn't feel quite as guilty as I normally do. I still felt guilty, and I know I shouldn't. She tells me not to many times, but you know what, I can't help it. What can I say? I'm a gentleman. I don't like to leave the lady to her own devices for too long. She might grow to hate me. But yeah, so I like that game. I recommend everyone excuse me, I recommend everyone should play that game. And it's PS4 exclusive, so if you've got an Xbox, sorry dude, you're shit out of luck. But if you've got a PlayStation, I recommend it. So that's it's not going to be very long today, by the way. I know I said this pretty much every week at the moment, but I'm in a rush. We've just been for a walk right now, actually. It was nice. Thought I'd get one quick one in before the weather turns, because there's a big old stormy cloud overhead, and it looks like it's going to piss on the house any second now. So, yes, we will be back in a second after a word from our sponsors. It's 2018. You want to raise your kid right? You get them an LGBT Barbie, the Barbecue. That's the best on the business you can get. It's the best one because it's LGBTQ. The Q stands for queer. Okay, now for the real advert. Our friends over at Bazookoid. So, do you like video games, board games, or card games? Do you like geek culture and you want to hang out with people who share the same interests and passions as you? Well, if you live in St. Helens or the nearby areas, then you're in luck, because Bazookoid is a brand new geek and gaming lounge located in St. Helens Town Centre on Clawton Street. They've got everything that your geeky little heart could ever desire. They've got games, food, drinks, events, you name it, they've probably got it. So, head on down to Bazookoid and have yourself some fun out of the sun. Now today, I've also been looking at things to do with Japan again. So when we move there, I really want to make a push to move there as soon as possible. So I was looking at visas and stuff like that again, and there's, I've probably told you this before, but I think there's something daft like 26 types of visa that I can potentially have to look at. I've got hiccups again. Every podcast I get hiccups. Yes, so that's a lot of visas to try and deal with. It's a lot to try and figure out and shit like that. But I did discover before, there's one called, what's it called now? What's the word? It's like something in humanities visa. And apparently it's kind of like, it covers pretty much everything. So if you don't fall under the categories for other ones, they'll basically just give you this one. And, that's kind of reassuring to know that there's one that's kind of a coverall. Because, I always worry about that kind of stuff. I worry about things that are out of my control. I can, when it comes to, the CV or the portfolio or whatever, I can control that. I can make it better. I can do what I need to do to it. But when it comes to the visa and stuff like that, I have zero control there. So if they don't want to let me in, they have the choice to not do that. So I've got to basically do what I can to be as keepable as possible, I think. I think the fact that I'm kind of a specialist now might help me a little bit in my favour. It might give them a reason to want me in the country, to do something that some of their people cannot. And I like the sound of that, because I know that a lot of Japanese game devs are kind of trying to push towards a Western style of development over the past few years. So being a Western developer, you'd hope that would put me in some good stead. And I think it might do. I think it might give me a slightly better chance at getting in there. I whether it's in a big studio or a little studio, I don't really care, so long as I'm doing what I love and I'm obviously earning enough to do it. I can't do it for not enough, because it's not the cheapest place in the world to live. Plus, living away from home, you've got to have a little saving pot in case you ever need to come home to home country for an emergency or whatever. You never know, you might accidentally murder somebody and have to fly home before anybody finds the body. You just don't know what might happen. So yeah, I've got to prepare myself. Get myself ready. I need to start selling some shit in my house as well. I've got loads of stuff. I said last week I tried to sell some things in work. So far I'd sold one item. That total is still exactly the same. I've sold one item. Luckily that one item was £30. So, it's nothing to sniff at. But at the same time, I was kind of hoping to shift a couple of bits. Maybe make £40. But what can you do, eh? The tablet, it needed buying. I couldn't do anything about it. I had to buy it. And I'm going to use it later, actually, when Charlie's going to be streaming tonight. She's going to be streaming some Overwatch, I believe. So, because I'm doing this before she streams, I can be working whilst she streams. You see how this works? It's very clever. Oh, we're organised. We are organised over in House Chico Charlie. But yeah, with all this talk of Japan, I've been insanely excited to go again. I'm doing well with my Japanese study. I think I told you last week or the week before, I'm trying a new method for learning the kanji, and it's actually fecking working. Can you believe this? Every day I'm having to review like 80 that I've learned in the past, and I'm learning 20 new ones daily. And you know what? Most of them are staying in. I'd say there's a good 80% hit rate. The ones that don't stay in, I need to give a little story to, because see what you're supposed to do, right? You get a little picture of the little word that is like a symbol. That's the Japanese kanji system. And what you do is you try and associate that word with a little story in your head and make it really visual. And that way, it's meant to stick in your head. It's meant to help stay in your long-term memory. And that because you can recall the story. You're like, oh, look, there's a symbol for water, and that's a symbol for mouth, so that must mean that this is that, and that is this, and there's the story, and there's your finished kanji. So it's kind of clever, but it's been working. It's finally starting to work. So I'm glad about this because I can't stop now. This is I've what am I trying to say? I've failed at learning Japanese for the last time. This time it is going to be successful. It has to be. I have no choice. If I'm to make it over there in 2 years or less, then I need to be at a pretty decent standard. And if I want to fulfill my dream of one day working for the Mr. Kojima, I need to be. He needs at least JLPT level. I think it was N3, possibly N2, and 3 and 3rd highest levels. So it's the hardest. Basically, N2 is practically native, and 1 is just insane. A lot of Japanese people would fail 1. So not that many people, apart from interpreters or translators, tend to get 1 because you need to know every little nuance, for translating and things like that. So one day, probably, I want to be at that level, but for the immediate future, I need to be aiming for JLPT 5 and 4. And it'll be a slow and steady climb, but you know what? Slow and steady wins a race, innit? So I'm going to do well with that. I know it this time. I have to. I can't let myself down anymore. I've done it too long now. So, anyway, yes, I'm excited about going again. I can't wait for Halloween to get there and just to see all the awesomeness, enjoy all the food, see everybody in costume and whatnot. It's going to be the balls. And I need to take some video this time. I took the video camera last time and we didn't... Oops, I just paused the podcast with my hand. I took the video camera last time, but we didn't do any video. We just enjoyed the moment. And that's what was important, first time in Japan. That felt much more important to us than getting video, and that's fine. So next time I want to try and get some video at least, even if it's nothing drastic, even if it's nothing usable, just something for our memories, because I wish I'd have taken some last time just to see, we got pictures and stuff, which is awesome, but it doesn't quite capture the same feel as the sounds and the movements of everything around you, So yeah, we'll hopefully do that. Hopefully we'll go to a nice onsen again, but I don't know yet. We'll have to see what money says we can do, because, obviously the onsens are a bit expensive, but let's see how we get on with it. It's going to be so cool. But anyway, speaking of Japan, the old Nihon, Japanese word of the week time, baby. Today, speaking of working lots and stuff like that, today's word of the week is karoshi, which is death by overwork. This is a very common occurrence in Japan. Sadly, a lot of people tend to work literally until they drop, which isn't good. It's not healthy, but things are changing for the better. I was watching a documentary before, a fairly recent one, about how the Japanese workplace is finally starting to change, because in the past it would be a case of whoever stays the longest in the office is basically the most loyal to the company. Whether or not you're doing work doesn't matter, just the fact that you're there later than somebody else, which is a stupid system. It is a piss poor system. If you get your work done, you should be able to go home. But anyway, that's the word of the week, karoshi. So anyway, today's recommendation, I'm going to recommend Solo. A Star Wars movie, or whatever it was called, a Han Solo story, whatever, you know what I mean, the film with Han Solo and then Chewie and Lando Calrissian. So yeah, I recommend it. I recommend watching it in 4DX like I always do, because it is awesome. All the space battles and whatnot, you're flying about in the ship, it's the balls. So remember folks, if you want to ask me any questions or make any suggestions, you can do so on any of my social media platforms. I am on Facebook at facebook.com/Chris Hunter Comedy. I'm on Twitter at Chris Hunter Com. I'm also short for comedy. I'm also on the old Instagram over there with all the hipster chicks with cameras who are photographers now, and that's Chris Hunter Comedy. So also on YouTube, same name, my name and comedy. So yeah, if you've got anything to say, you want to hurl abuse at me, you feel free. If you want to drop me a quick review, a little 1-star is fine, a little 5-star is even better, on iTunes, and subscribe, then you feel free to do that as well. So, thanks a lot for listening again, folks. I will see all you beautiful barstools next time. Bye-bye now.